The Pack-a-Punch, one of the most recognizable tools in all of gaming. You put your weapon in, and when you receive it back, it is upgraded, able to shoot rounds that are far more impactful, dealing a ton of damage. Everyone is aware of what the Pack-a-Punch is. Even people who don't play Call of Duty Zombies know what the Pack-a-Punch is. It is as recognizable as the map Kino Der Toten, perhaps even more so. But where did it come from? Who made it? How has it progressed across the Zombies mode? That is what we're here to discuss. I want to take a closer look at the Pack-a-Punch machine, take a deep dive into its history, and explore its evolution across maps, games, and modes. So join me as we dig deep into the history of the Pack-a-Punch. Before this video begins, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you all for your incredible support. If you could take a moment now to click the like button, I would really appreciate it. I sink my soul into these videos, so a like would mean the world. And subscribe to get notified when I upload my next video. On November 11th, 2008, Call of Duty World at War was released to the world. With it came a secret mode that could only be played after completing the campaign. This secret mode was Call of Duty Zombies. It was a lot of fun to just play rounds and rounds of zombies, trying to survive for as long as you possibly could. In the beginning, with the very first map, Kino Der Toten, the mode was very limited, offering very few tools to help you survive. As DLC maps were released, more tools were given to offer help for the player to survive to even higher rounds. In WWII, perk-a-colas were added. Perks have since become a staple of the mode, offering more and more new perks with each new installment and exploration of the mode. WWII offered the first 4 perks that have now become infamous among gamers: Quick Revive, Speed Cola, Double Tap Root Beer, and most famous of all, Juggernog. In Shinonuma, the first non-ray gun wonder weapon was added to zombies, the Wunderwaffe DG2. The Wunderwaffe has also become a staple in the zombies community, and for good reason. The design of this weapon is extremely cool, and at the time, its power and capabilities were top of the line, the best of the best. Shinonuma also introduced characters to the franchise, offering a storyline, character interactions, and very good voice acting. Having a set of 4 characters has since become a staple of the franchise. That is until Activision discovered that they could save money by not hiring voice actors and make even more money by selling operator skins. But that's for another video. All of the features have become defining parts of what makes a good zombie map. But the final map of World at War would introduce what is now one of the most recognizable objects in all of gaming. Something that would change the mode forever: the Pack-a-Punch machine. The Pack-a-Punch is a device that, when purchased for 5,000 points, upgrades your weapon for you, making it even stronger and allowing you to survive to higher rounds. Where did the Pack-a-Punch come from? The zombie storyline is a deep dive into some of the most convoluted yet interesting lore in all of gaming. Let's take a look specifically at where the Pack-a-Punch machine comes from. In 1885, a blacksmith named Jebediah Brown was living in a mining town called Purgatory Point. You may recognize the name Purgatory Point, and that's because it is the zombie map Buried from Black Ops 2. Purgatory Point was an old mining town. The miners discovered a new element while digging in the mines one day. This new element was element 115. The apothecans, whom I will not be getting into with this video, were trapped in the dark ether and had sent meteors containing element 115 to every Earth in every dimension, believing that one day humanity would wage war among themselves over the element, opening a rift that would allow the apothecans to escape the dark ether. I told you the storyline gets convoluted. The mine contained very large amounts of element 115, and after a while, it began to affect people in very bizarre ways. One of the miners turned into a zombie and attacked Jebediah's mother, killing her. Wanting to find answers, Jebediah went down into the mine. He spent 5 days down there looking for clues as to what had happened. Some time later, Jebediah had a dream. In his dream, 2 angels approached him and asked him to build a very specific machine. This was the Pack-a-Punch machine. The Pack-a-Punch machine was a huge success in the town, but after a few months, Jebediah had another dream. the same two angels approached him once more and asked him to create an Agarthan device. The Agarthan device had three components: the blood of an elder god found at the bottom of the ocean, an elemental shard created by forging 4 human souls to a rock of element 115, and a metallic vril vessel. Jebediah was able to craft the vessel, but had no way to obtain the blood of an elder god or the 4 human souls. After creating the vril vessel, Jebediah put it into the Pack-a-Punch machine to upgrade it. This resulted in a temporal rift opening, transporting the entire town to an underground cavern in Angola in the year 2025. This was the chosen location because, at the time, Maxis had launched rockets from the moon, fracturing the Earth and also creating a temporal rift that then sucked Purgatory Point through. After this, zombies began to overrun the now buried town, killing all of its inhabitants, including Jebediah. In May of 1942, some German soldiers returned from a mission to Africa. Richthofen reported that they had found several artifacts from an old American town buried within a cavern in the nation of Angola. Among the artifacts and documents recovered were pieces of the Pack-a-Punch machine built by Jebediah Brown. Richthofen gave the schematics to Dr. H. Porter to have him replicate Jebediah's work. This is how the Pack-a-Punch machine came to be, according to the zombies lore, and why it can be found on the map Der Riese, the very first introduction of the Pack-a-Punch. The Pack-a-Punch machine truly changed the zombie mode forever. Maps would now be designed with machine placement in mind, and in later maps, would be designed with quests in mind. Der Riese, the first map Pack-a-Punch was put on, did have a small quest for you to complete, however. In each of the 3 sections of the map is a teleporter. All 3 need to be linked to the mainframe to become usable, and once all 3 have been linked, the Pack-a-Punch becomes accessible. This quest, the very first one, was nice and simple. It wouldn't stay this way for long, but we'll touch on that later. The Pack-a-Punch would return in Treyarch's next Call of Duty title, Black Ops. Nothing was changed about the PaP machine. It stayed the exact same way it was in World at War. Pay 5,000 points and the gun goes in normal and comes back out upgraded. The only thing that changed across Black Ops as a whole was the PaP camos. It was decided that most new maps would introduce a new PaP camo. The different camos add flair and personality to each map and serve as a fun addition for each map. Kino Der Toten was the launch map for Call of Duty Black Ops. Kino was a bigger map than Der Riese for World at War, but functionally is almost the same map. The Pack-a-Punch was made available through a similar means as Der Riese. However, there was only one teleporter in Kino, and it would take you directly to the PaP machine. The teleporter also must be linked, much like the teleporters from Der Riese. Kino has been criticized for taking the same gameplay mechanic from a previous map and simplifying it even more than it already was. But Treyarch would learn from this and include much more in-depth PaP quests in later maps and games. The rest of the maps on Black Ops had slightly more involved ways of getting access to Pack-a-Punch, save for a few. In 5, you need to lower the DEFCON level by flipping several switches around the war room. In Ascension, you need to activate all lunar lander locations until the rocket launches, opening a path to Pack-a-Punch. In Shangri-La, you need to step on the correct pressure plate until a set of stairs appear in the spawn area, giving you access to PaP. However, not much time is given to upgrade, so you'd need to be quick. The outliers of Black Ops are Call of the Dead and Moon. With Call of the Dead, you only need to turn on the power. After that, the Pack-a-Punch machine will randomly spawn around the map, and can be found by following where the lighthouse light points. And Moon has one of the most egregious placements out of all zombie maps, the spawn area. Once you leave Area 51, you'd need to make a full lap around the map to get to another teleporter that takes you back to Earth. Or, if you're skilled enough, you can melee your way up to 5,000 points and upgrade your pistol. This method, however, is extremely challenging. It even has its own dedicated category on the Zombies World Records website. Moving over to Call of Duty Black Ops 2, nothing much changes. The Pack-a-Punch remains mostly the same utility with the same primary function: upgrade your weapon. There was one function added, however. You were now able to upgrade your weapon a second time for 2,000 points. The primary function of this second upgrade was to add a random attachment to your weapon. Your weapon didn't increase in damage it dealt, but now you could have an attachment on your weapon. something that had been previously impossible in the previous 2 games. The launch map for Black Ops 2 was Tranzit. A task must be completed to unlock the path to Pack-a-Punch. If you go to the power station and place a turbine at this specific door, and then go over to the town section of the map and blow open these doors in the vault, another secret door will be opened at the back of the vault. You were also required to build the PaP machine. I think this was an addition to the map to help enforce the idea of building utilities, considering it was a brand new addition to the mode. The problem with this particular task is how tedious it is. You are required to place the turbine on the other side of the map. Turbines also attract zombies and can be broken by them. If your turbine were to be destroyed before you get to the vault, the back door would not be open, requiring you to go back to the spawn first to get a new turbine, and then over to the power station again to place it. The worst part about the whole thing is that you need to do this every time you want to upgrade. This means that if you wanted to upgrade your second weapon later, or you wanted to come back to add an attachment via a second upgrade for 2,000 points, you would need to complete this whole process over again, and possibly again after that, if your turbine were to be destroyed. Black Ops 2 also had 3 additional survival maps that were made out of various sections of the big Transit map. However, Town was the only map to have a Pack-a-Punch machine included. The machine is made available right in the spawn, but is surrounded by lava, so you'd need to be quick and patient while upgrading your weapons. Nuketown was another zombie map made available at the launch of Black Ops 2, but only for Season Pass owners. Nuketown took an interesting approach to its Pack-a-Punch. Every few rounds, a random utility will drop from the sky and land somewhere on the map. Most of these drops will be perk machines, but one of these drops will be the Pack-a-Punch. The problem is, if you are very unlucky, it is possible to not receive PaP until round 20, making Nuketown extremely difficult. Die Rise, as much as I dislike this map, made its Pack-a-Punch easily accessible. It is simply on one of the elevators around the map. The elevators go up and down as they please, so timing your visit correctly can be frustrating. But overall, its ease of access is much appreciated. Mob of the Dead, however, is where getting access to Pack-a-Punch becomes quite difficult. Getting to PaP requires you to build the plane, and considering how tight Mob is to maneuver, and how long it can take to finally build the plane, getting access to Pack-a-Punch is no easy task. I love Mob of the Dead as a map, but putting the PaP machine on the Golden Gate Bridge, only accessible via the plane, eliminates the interest of casual gamers, and can certainly be viewed as a negative toward the map. Buried takes a much more laid-back approach to the Pack-a-Punch. There isn't a quest or task that needs to be completed to get access. You simply need to make your way through the maze on the other side of the witch's house and down a staircase. It is a dead end and extremely narrow, so caution is advised. And on the final map of Black Ops 2, Origins, Pack-a-Punch is again quite simple. This is nice considering just how difficult Origins is. Simply turn on all 6 generators and go to the dig site at the center of the map. Turning on all 6 generators does take skill, but it's nice not having another quest to worry about on Origins of all maps. On November 3rd, 2014, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare was released and changed the franchise forever, for better or for worse, depending on your opinion. Advanced Warfare didn't launch with a zombie mode, but when the first DLC for the game was released, on January 27, 2015, a zombie mode was added to the game, making this the first zombie mode not created by Treyarch. With it came their version of the Pack-a-Punch machine, they called the Upgrade Station. Original, I know. The Upgrade Station is quite complex in its systems and how it works. You upgrade your weapon for 2,500 points, turning it into the Mark II version. Upgrading again will then turn it into the Mark III version, then the Mark IV version, and so on. Upon getting your weapon to Mark IV, your weapon would be granted an attachment. This would typically be a sight of some kind. You would then be granted an additional attachment upon reaching Mark VII and Mark X, respectively. Mark VII and Mark X would usually be other attachments such as laser sights or extended magazines. The coolest feature of Advanced Warfare's upgrade system is that weapons stay permanently upgraded. This means that if you were were to trade out your upgraded weapon for another one, and then get that same gun back later via the wall or the 3D printer, it would be the same level it was when you first got rid of it. The worst feature of Advanced Warfare's upgrade system is how many levels you need to upgrade to. With each upgrade, your weapon gets marginally better, as it should, but to complete Easter eggs or fight bosses comfortably, you would need to get your weapon to the max level. The issue is that the max level is 20, and with the secret upgrade station, that can be pushed to level 25. Now, the secret upgrade station becomes available after completing the Easter egg, at least on the map Outbreak, the only map I've tried on Advanced Warfare. Upon using the secret upgrade station, your weapon jumps from level 20 to level 25 with a single use of the machine. This is a nice quality of life feature. Or is it? You see, to even get your weapon to this point requires you to first get your weapon to level 20, costing 47,500 points. And the secret upgrade station costs an additional 2,500 points, bringing the grand total to 50,000 points. This is just a ridiculous number, and is the reason I consider Advanced Warfare's upgrade station to be the worst weapon upgrading system to have ever been made. In Call of Duty Black Ops 3, the Pack-a-Punch system was almost entirely overhauled. Functionally, upgrading remains the same. You spend your points, your gun goes in normal, and comes back out upgraded. The biggest change in Black Ops 3 happens when you upgrade your weapon for the second time for an additional 2,500 points. In Black Ops 2, you would receive a random attachment. Black Ops 3 doesn't have this due to the weapons kit system, allowing you to customize your weapons in the menu before the start of the match. Instead, a new system was added that has since become a staple of the franchise: alternate ammo types, or AATs for short. Alternate ammo types add an effect to your gun that randomly activates as you shoot hordes of the undead. The AATs themselves are also random, meaning that you wouldn't know exactly which AAT would be applied to your gun. So if you wanted a specific one, you'd need to put your weapon back in, costing another 2,500 points. Black Ops 3 had 5 different alternate ammo types. Blast Furnace makes zombies burst into flames, which can spread to multiple zombies, eventually killing them. Turned turns a zombie against the other zombies and will melee the closest ones to death, with one swipe to kill each, until the turned one dies. Deadwire creates a mini Wunderwaffe effect that can chain up to 10 zombies, gaining its chaining ability as the rounds progress. Thunderwall has a Thundergun effect, propelling zombies in close range into the air. Fireworks causes zombies hit with the fireworks bullet to explode into fireworks with a model of the weapon that shot it. The fireworks last for 3 seconds and kill any zombies in the area of effect. The alternate ammo type system is so good and well crafted that it has been included in almost every iteration of zombies since Black Ops 3, and is one of the greatest changes to a core mechanic that has ever been added to the mode. However, Black Ops 3 also introduced a trend that has since become a little frowned upon. Jason Blundell, the lead developer of Black Ops 3 Zombies, decided that the zombie mode and the Easter eggs therein were not challenging enough. This is when simple tasks such as opening the Pack-a-Punch machine became very tedious. The map Shadows of Evil is easily the worst of this in Black Ops 3, requiring you to complete 4 rituals around the map, and a 5th ritual down below the map. After a lot of practice, this becomes very easy for most players, but can be very challenging for some new to the zombie mode, or someone who prefers a much more casual experience. Horizon Draka maintains a simple balance of ease and challenge, only requiring you to open areas of the map and then teleport parts of the Pack-a-Punch machine together. Zetsubo no Shima, however, is fairly challenging. Getting access to Pack-a-Punch only requires you to find 3 parts. 2 of these parts can be found underwater. Being swarmed by zombies, underwater, and still needing to bob up for air now and again before you drown is not easy. Gorod Krovi is fairly challenging, requiring you to protect 3 canisters until you can obtain the network circuit. Placing these into a computer will give you the ability to fly on a dragon over to where the Pack-a-Punch is. Revelations, however, is fairly straightforward. All you have to do is complete 4 rituals around the map, teleport to the Nocturne Toten area, and then catch the Apothicon monster by interacting with the green module at the right time. Pack-a-Punch in Black Ops 3 is maybe the best iteration of the utility we have ever received. And although some of the maps can be challenging to unlock, it all ends up being worth it because of how important alternate ammo types are. The next Call of Duty title to release was Infinite Warfare. Because Black Ops 3 Zombies was such a huge success, Infinite Warfare would be the next non-Treyarch game to have a zombie mode. Now, my knowledge of Infinite Warfare is very small. I've only played Zombies in Spaceland once, so if you'd like to fill me in on the game's systems and other functions of the map, in the comments section I would much appreciate it. Infinite Warfare has a weapon upgrade system. It's designed to look like a film projector, which is a cool idea. It functions the same as the Pack-a-Punch in every previous Treyarch game. 5,000 points to receive an upgraded gun. I believe you can upgrade multiple times, however, there is no alternate ammo type system in this game. Instead, your weapon will increase in damage and ammo reserve. But again, my knowledge of this game is minuscule. If I am incorrect, please let me know. Call of Duty World War II was released after Infinite Warfare, and it also had a zombie mode. The Pack-a-Punch system was called the Übersprachen. I know I butchered that. This was much more akin to the PaP system of Roulette War and Black Ops, simply upgrading your weapon, but for 4,000 points instead of 5,000. After this, one of the most controversial Call of Duty games was released, Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 felt the need to completely reinvent the wheel. Almost every single function in the game was changed. The perk system, the weapon kit system, and especially the Pack-a-Punch. The Pack-a-Punch remains much the same as Black Ops 3. However, Fireworks was removed as one of the alternate ammo types because of how overpowered it was. Upgrade your weapon once for 5,000 points, and then again for 2,500 points to receive an AAT. Thunderwall was replaced by a new AAT known as Cryo Freeze, which simply freezes zombies. Blast Furnace and Deadwire remain in the game but are now known as Firebomb and Kilowatt, respectively. However, your weapon does not become fully upgraded until it has been upgraded 5 times in total, once for 5,000 points, and 4 more times for 2,500. The problem is, because AATs are random, if you got the AAT you wanted on the second upgrade, you would have to spin it multiple more times to get it back. This also means that you would need to spend 15,000 points just to get your weapon fully upgraded. The good news is that every spin after your weapon is fully upgraded only costs 1,500 points, costing less to get back the AAT you would like to have. But another issue is Black Ops 4's point system, but that's for another video. Getting access to Pack-a-Punch is 50-50 as to whether it is easy or difficult. Most maps only require that you turn it on, like in Blood of the Dead. Other maps require you to gather parts, such as the heads on the map 9. And some maps require you to complete difficult rituals, such as the ones on Ancient Evil. Overall, what are your thoughts on Black Ops 4's Pack-a-Punch system? Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was the next game to release with a zombie mode. Modern Warfare 2019 did not have a zombie mode, although some zombie files such as lines of code and textures were data mined from the game's files. Black Ops Cold War took a complete diversion with its Pack-a-Punch system. PaP acts as an interactable menu, as opposed to a utility that does everything for you. From this menu, you can choose to add an alternate ammo type before you even upgrade your weapon. Why you would want to do this is an interesting conversation starter, but you can nonetheless. Where Black Ops Cold War's Pack-a-Punch system really changes is with its tiers of upgrading. Your first upgrade is 5,000 points, just like in previous installments of the franchise. However, your second upgrade costs 15,000 points, and your third and final upgrade costs 30,000 points. I'm not too sure if this has become a controversial change or not, but it is quite daunting spending 30,000 points on a single upgrade. I'm also torn on the idea of an interactable menu system as opposed to the classic animation of putting your weapon into the machine and watching it come back out with the PaP camo. There is just something so classic about that feeling. Black Ops Cold War also has the most easily accessible Pack-a-Punch machines in all of Zombies. There are icons that guide you where to go and what to do. After Pack-a-Punch is open, you can do whatever you want, but being guided to PaP is a nice quality of life change. Or is it? As troublesome as some of the previous maps have been to unlock Pack-a-Punch, such as Mob of the Dead, Shadows of Evil, or Zetsubo no Shima, there is also something just classic about working for your upgrade. I don't know how to properly explain it, but hopefully you understand. Finally, this leads us to the latest Call of Duty Zombies experience, which unfortunately is Call of Duty Vanguard. Vanguard has a nearly identical Pack-a-Punch experience as Black Ops Cold War. The main difference here is the initial cost. Your first upgrade will cost you a whopping 7,500 points. Your second and third upgrades are 15,000 and 30,000 respectively. When Vanguard switched back to a round-based gameplay system after the enormous player backlash, the Pack-a-Punch system returned to being 5,000 points for the initial upgrade, like how it is in Black Ops Cold War. It'll be interesting to see how the new Pack-a-Punch system will work with the latest installment of Zombies in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Will there be interactable menus? Will there be alternate ammo types? Will you be able to extract with your upgraded weapon? How much will it cost? Will the Pack-a-Punch even work the same as previous games? We all certainly have a lot of questions about Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, and maybe by the time you're watching this we already have our answers. But in the meantime, this has been the history of Pack-a-Punch.